We all witnessed Jason take Danny on that deeply emotional father-son weekend trip, desperately trying to regain the young boy's shattered trust and build a solid, unbreakable foundation for their future. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, we have the sudden, splashy debut of Dr. Tristan Roberts, a handsome, promising new surgeon who immediately made fierce enemies with Britt Westbourne during his very first shift. But if you ask me, Tristan is not just here to argue over hospital politics, surgical schedules, or stolen apartments. Oh no, ladies. The leaked script rumors heavily suggest he is here for something much, much bigger, and it involves Jason Morgan's entire world. I have been poring over the latest insider leaks, analyzing every single scene, and I have developed a wild, bold theory about Danny Morgan's true paternity that is going to shake you to your absolute core. What if the network executives and head writers have decided to alter one of the most sacred, supposedly unchangeable storylines in general hospital history? We all know the official show Bible firmly states that Danny is the biological son of Jason Morgan and the late beloved Sam McCall. But over the years, we have seen this show rewrite bloodlines with hidden secrets, tampered DNA tests, switched at birth tropes, and shocking reveals. So I have to ask the hard question, what if Tristan Roberts is actually Danny's real biological father? If this theory plays out in the upcoming episodes, every single thing Jason has done since returning to Port Charles takes on an entirely new, devastating, and heartbreaking meaning. Let us really dig into the motives and the hidden agendas here, because if you ask me, Tristan Roberts did not just wander into General Hospital by accident or for a simple career change. I firmly believe Tristan has been secretly tracking Jason Morgan down for months, maybe even years, waiting for the exact right moment to strike. Imagine the explosive scene that is reportedly being filmed for the upcoming sweeps week. Tristan secretly meeting with Jason in a dimly lit, secluded room, and instead of just throwing out wild, baseless accusations, Tristan comes fully prepared. He brings undeniable, concrete proof. I am talking about old, buried medical records from the time of Danny's birth, heavily guarded hospital documents, and a definitive, ironclad DNA test proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is the one who fathered Danny. This would be the absolute biggest shock of Jason's entire life. To realize that the boy he has loved, protected, bled for, and sacrificed his entire mob empire for does not actually share his blood. It is a devastating blow that strikes at the very core of Jason's identity as a protector and a father. And ladies, we absolutely must talk about the massive elephant in the room, Sam McCall. If Tristan is indeed the biological father, that means Sam took this monumental, life-altering secret with her to the grave. She allowed Jason to believe for all these years that Danny was his flesh and blood, while knowing deep down that the truth was entirely different. The sheer level of betrayal Jason must be feeling in this leaked scenario is unimaginable. He would not only be losing his rightful title as Danny's biological father, but he would also have to face the agonizing, soul-crushing reality that the woman he loved so deeply, the mother of his child, lied to him every single day of their lives together. Why did she do it? Was she trying to protect Danny from something dark and sinister in Tristan's past? Was Tristan involved with dangerous people, forcing Sam to hide his child? Or was it purely out of a selfish fear of losing Jason forever if he knew the truth? Whatever her underlying reasons were, Jason would be left drowning in a sea of pain, betrayal, and utter confusion. But knowing the essence of Jason Morgan, his very first thought, his only priority, would still be Danny's emotional well-being. This brings me right back to that poignant father-son trip we recently saw play out on our screens. Initially, we all assumed Jason whisked Danny away out of Port Charles just to bond, fish, and heal after his terrifying WSB ordeal. We thought it was just a sweet, fatherly gesture. But knowing this insider leak, look at that trip through a completely different, tragic lens. What if that vacation was actually a heartbreaking farewell tour? Jason knew the truth was going to come out eventually, and instead of immediately dropping the DNA bomb on the poor kid and ruining his life, he decided to carve out one last perfect memory. He wanted to spend some private, uninterrupted time with Danny, creating final, beautiful moments before their lives are altered forever. That trip was not just a vacation. It was Jason silently, painfully saying goodbye to the role he has cherished above all else, being Danny's biological dad. It brings genuine tears to my eyes just thinking about the silent agony Jason must have been in while smiling at his son across a crackling campfire, knowing the devastating storm that was rapidly approaching. Now, let us take a moment to look at Tristan's side of this massive casting shakeup. Why wouldn't Tristan just march right into the Quartermain mansion or the Metro Court dining room and announce his paternity to the entire world? Because, guys, Tristan is incredibly smart and calculating. After being absent for all these years, he knows that suddenly appearing out of nowhere and claiming to be the father would only push Danny far, far away. Danny would be absolutely furious. He would likely blame his late mother Sam for the massive deception, resent Jason for not telling him the second he found out, and completely reject Tristan out of pure anger, confusion, and fierce loyalty to the only father he has ever truly known. Tristan knows he cannot force a loving relationship overnight, which is exactly why I theorize he approached Jason first. He desperately needs Jason to be the emotional bridge between him and the teenage son he never got the chance to raise. I firmly believe that in the highly anticipated upcoming episodes, we will learn that Jason and Tristan formed a secret, agonizing pact behind closed doors. They silently agreed to handle this explosive truth with the utmost care, precision, and patience to protect Danny's fragile teenage heart. Jason, swallowing his immense pride and his shattering grief, agreed to be the one to prepare Danny psychologically for the fallout. Tristan agreed to stay in the shadows, playing the mundane role of the new surgeon at the hospital, arguing with Britt Westbourne, and only stepping into the light when Jason deemed the time was absolutely right. This hidden agenda between the two men shows just how much they both care for the boy, putting Danny's emotional stability far ahead of their own selfish desires. It is a brilliant, tragic dynamic that the network writers are setting up for us, and it is going to be television gold. This is where we hit the absolute climax of this leaked storyline, ladies. Prepare yourselves for an emotional powerhouse of a scene that will likely air during the peak of Sweeps Week. I can vividly picture the moment in my mind. A quiet, tense, dimly lit room, completely isolated from the usual chaotic drama of Port Charles. It is just Jason, Tristan, and Danny sitting together. The atmosphere is so thick you could cut it with a surgical scalpel. Jason, ever the stoic protector and loving father figure, will take the lead. He will sit Danny down, look him dead in the eye with that classic, intense Jason Morgan stare, and gently, softly explain that he has verified the evidence himself. He will tell Danny that there is absolutely no doubt left in his mind, and that the man sitting across from them is his true biological father. Then, the heavy torch is passed. Tristan will slowly, hesitantly step forward, pulling out the aged medical files and the crisp new DNA results, handing them directly to Danny so the boy can see the undeniable truth in black and white. It will be the exact moment Danny's entire universe shatters into a million unrecognizable pieces. Everything he thought he knew about his own identity, his mother's legacy, and his father's bloodline will be ripped away in an instant. The raw emotion, the streaming tears, the intense feelings of betrayal, it is going to be a masterclass in soap opera acting from all three men. We are going to see Danny go through a violent whirlwind of emotions, swinging wildly from absolute denial to furious, unbridled anger. He will question his entire existence and the legacy of his mother, Sam McCall, who is tragically no longer here to defend her questionable actions or explain her complex lies. And we cannot forget about how this will ripple through the rest of Port Charles. Can you imagine Carly Spencer's reaction when she finds out? She will be absolutely livid, furious that Sam lied to Jason for all those years, robbing him of the truth. Carly will likely go on a rampage defending Jason's honor. And Sonny Corinthos? He might just see this as the perfect opportunity to pull a broken, vulnerable Jason back into the mob. If Jason feels he has lost his primary reason for staying clean being Danny's biological father, what is to stop him from picking up his gun and returning to the dark, violent underworld of Sonny's empire? The stakes have literally never been higher, and the fallout will affect every single family in town, from the Quartermains to the Corinthos organization. So, what do you guys think of this massive, game-changing insider leak? Will Danny ever be able to find it in his heart to accept Tristan as his real father, or will he push him away forever in a fit of teenage rage? How will he cope with the devastating realization that his beloved mother Sam lied to everyone for her entire life? And what will Jason do now that his primary reason for leaving the mob has been turned completely upside down? Will he spiral out of control and return to sunny Corinthos' dark world, completely abandoning his vow of peace? I absolutely need to hear all your thoughts, theories, and frustrations down in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started right now, ladies, because this drama is just getting good, and I promise you, we have not seen the last of these explosive Port Charles secrets.